Bears, birds, otters, and fish? Yes, guys, this episode almost has it all. Welcome to our new update for Sunset Gardens. Yes, hey there friends, the good news is upon us. I have finished The Last Wild. And we're starting here at the wolf section, which I still really like because I kind of missed out on a little scene that I built here, which I think I left out of the video. So here it is. Or did I show you this? I'm not sure. But now when you look at it, you see this really interesting shape behind it. Yes, guys, sightlines. I'm working with sightlines. I'm enjoying it. There is an aviary back there, sort of overgrown, revealed to you as a teaser for the future. But as you continue on, another very interesting shape begins to loom over here, also overgrown. And that is, you really are teased with this. This is a building that ostensibly seems to showcase bears, and you might have caught a glimpse there. So we're going to head down there, and I'll tell you a few things before we arrive there. Number one, the habitat might not cooperate in the way that I want it to. Some animals in there will not be acting the way that they should. I will say that right away. And it was a very finicky thing to build, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So we are approaching this building. I had a lot of fun building this really scenic and mysterious walk up to it with the rocks and just having a lot of fun with the rock work and plants, and just the foliage in general of this place is interesting. But here we go, the big reveal. Let's hope it looks as nice as it should. We have, yes, a salmon area right over here, and behind them, guys, we have the grizzly bears. There's 3 of them living in here. There's number 1, there's number 2, and there's number 3. They're all male grizzly bears. I imagine they're brothers or some such. And then, yes, this is what I made. Ignore those guys, of course. That is the downside of this mod, of course. Looks better in this lighting. There is this salmon sort of cross section of the river. The idea, in case your eyes don't tell you this, is that there's a waterfall cascade. Oh, look at this, it's so cool. That there's a waterfall cascading down to you. There's a river through the bear habitat that they can actually cross at every section of it, and that the river then actually sort of streams towards you, and that it stops right here. That's the idea, that it becomes this very broad riverbed in front of you, with the sockeye salmon living in there, one of the many salmon species that the grizzly bear preys upon during certain times of the year. But of course, you probably gather this is not some trickery with null barriers and turning escape and predation off. These are 2 separate habitats, and I will reveal that, of course, at the end. But of course, the illusion really, really works here. I honestly think that you are, unless you really, really pay attention to it, you cannot tell. I know I put those rocks here, but the separation really, really isn't obvious. And that was a lot of work, I will tell you. By the way, let's just look at this building here. I really like what I did over here, and as well over here, just this planting and then trees. You have these stands that you can walk up, just rest, relax, and look at this vista. And I just love the bears whenever they approach the habitat of the salmons. It looks so menacing, like they really mean business. And I think even up here the illusion mostly holds up, really. I will say a couple of things. Number 1, the habitat design of this part, I owe pretty much all of that to Digital Blob, a name you've heard before on the channel. He has an amazing grizzly bear habitat on his channel. Go check it out. But the salmon habitat is just an idea of my own, and it took a lot of work getting it right. The illusion, most of it depended on the placement of this path, and I had a very funny technique in getting it right. I remember, I think I just took like a small piece, let's say this, and I placed it in front of me, and then I was sort of moving up and down while holding shift, moving up or moving down, And whenever it looked like a better place to place the path, I would click like this, click, and then I would know where to build the path to get a better angle. So you see it down there. It's I'm not explaining it well, but I would place the path at this level, and it took many tries to get it right, but I feel like the current height of the path in explore mode at the very least really works. So yeah, the salmon in there, the vibrant red moving from left to right, and then the 3 bears here just stomping through their habitat. And what I really love about this, you will see at the end, I know I've been talking it up, it really looks like their world really has no end to it. You have the mountains, you have the forests, and the barriers of the bear habitat are at this point pretty much, aside from this human aspect, they are not visible. It is very much a habitat with barriers, very brutal ones in fact, but you wouldn't be able to tell standing here, and that is precisely the design that I went for. And I kind of have to give it to Frontier. I know this is a base game animal, but the animation on the grizzly bear is really good. I know I'm running a remaster, but the animations beneath, the way their body sort of shakes when they walk, very well done. So excited to see if they can improve on that in the sequel. So we move up this path right over here, and we get another look here at the, whoa, okay, yeah, it does that in explore mode. It sort of moves up like this. We get another sneak peek here at the aviary, which we're not moving into yet. These are actually the 3 final pieces to be added. Among them, the bird statues here to celebrate the arrival of birds in Plant 2. They were a free update, but we're going to move up here first through. I just love the rocks. I've had so much fun placing the rocks in the trees here, but we're going to move into this section. You get a look here. You're not really supposed to look at this. You're supposed to stand here and see the basin of the salmons, and then over here, and you are meant to ignore this part of the habitat. You are meant to be looking here. And you know the glass sort of filters out the colors, and you might also almost argue that I should be removing this glass and make it this open air, just like over here. Let me know in the comments if you think I should be removing this glass to really make the colors pop. But you get a big sideways view here of the waterfall with the 3 levels. That is very much the design that I saw Blob pull off. And it was finicky to reproduce, and it's not perfect. You can still see the glass barrier if you really look. But yeah, the sideways views of the bear habitat, it really works in this lighting with the shadow, the trees behind it. And you move up to, nothing really impressive, but you get a little area here to have a picnic. You can use the restroom over here should you need it. And you can, of course, stand here and look at this very big waterfall and get an unobstructed view this time of the bear habitat down below. And I really took my time building it. It wasn't easy getting this to look right, and you could argue that I could be making it look better, but I think it really works. And I think even though there is a very big moat in between us and the bears, it feels like the bear habitat just continues into the environment around it, and that is very much the goal. So let me know what you think of this. I personally am very pleased with this, and yeah, the idea of placing 3 male bears in it, definitely also sort of Paradisa inspired. They do have a bear habitat with a lot of bears in there, even more than 3 bears, and somehow it works. There's even wolves in there. Somehow it works. I don't know how they did it. They also have a tiger habitat with like 4 male tigers in there, Siberian, and it hasn't gone wrong thus far. I don't know how they do it, but apparently it's possible in the zoo context. And then we move towards the second big thing here. the aviary. We have a little bit of an art installation here, a little square to rest before you continue, and then we have the aviary, and it contains both birds and mammals, in fact. So let's look into it. This is the aviary. It's smaller in scale, but I'll say once again, it's not a crazy design, right? It's not a crazy design, but the Paradisa aviary with aquatic birds served as the main drive for me to be building this one. And as you can tell, guys, I'm really ramping up my skills for sightlines, because you get the Abbey Tower there when you look through the aviary, and that was very much part of the of the intention, and I'm very happy I pulled this off. So this aviary contains in all actuality, in reality, it would contain lots of flying birds, but right now it contains only birds that wade or use the water. We get these Eurasian spoonbills, 3 of them. As you can see, they can use the paths to either side of you. Had a lot of fun making this planting look a bit overgrown, naturalistic, placing some trees in there that wouldn't clip through the roof of the aviary, creating these ponds with the beautiful sides to them. Really had a lot of fun with this. Let's respectfully pass these spoonbills, because there's more animals. Let's look to the left first and ignore the animals in the room. As you can tell, I had a lot of fun with this. We get the wood stork over here. The trumpeter swan also lives in here. There's a couple of them, like literally 2 of them in here. And there's a whole bunch of ducks, and the ducks are either hiding in the grass or using the pond back here. We have the hooded merganser and the wood duck. As you can tell, I think both of them are visible at this time. I had to get a weeping willow in there as well. There's also a place for them right over here. That's awesome that the duck is up on the rock like this. Not an intended part of the habitat for sure, but hey, it works. So you should be imagining more birds in here, flying birds. Like this tree, I would imagine, would be like a very popular place for birds to hang out. Perhaps I should add like bird statues in here. I know that's a very popular tool for many people. There are ibises in the game. I would place them in here, but I would actually want ibises to be sitting here. But to the right of us, we actually have a habitat within a habitat, and that is this very cute pool for the Asian small-clawed otter. The implication would be that the birds can freely enter their habitat and use the water. That is why I placed these 2 ducks in here, just to imply that they could actually be in here. It's not possible to have overlapping habitats in Planet Zoo 1. But yeah, the Asian small-clawed otter lives in here. They're currently not really using the water, but hey, I think it was just a really fun thing to place an otter habitat inside an aviary, and I think it really adds some prestige to the place. Just a little trick, that stone you see back there is the South American sort of Easter Island statue, but I thought it looked just great, like it does over here. And that is actually the current end of the last wild. You leave it over here and you rejoin the path that gets you around the lake. I need to make sure that I preserve this look, of course, of the tower right over here-ish. So I need to be placing it somewhere here-ish. It's going to be a big restaurant, and the Arctic section will be right over here, featuring at the very least the musk ox, the walrus, and the polar bear. And I think there might be one more that I'm forgetting. Oh right, the sea otter. Those are the plans for that behind this restaurant. Once again, if you know Paradisa, they have this restaurant at the border of the lake called the Izba restaurant, sort of based on like a Russian architecture, if I'm correct. And I'm going to try and build something that evokes that right over here, and the Arctic section over here, which you can reach through the aviary or just by following the path over here. So that is the last wild, the first modern section of the zoo done, where the zoo escaped its century-old constraints, became big budget, made use of the natural environments here, probably imported a lot of rocks as well from other countries, and painstakingly placed them to make it look natural. But just to remind you once again, we have this big pond, we have the gaur and wild boar, we have the Eurasian wolf, the grizzly bear and the salmon, and then the aviary featuring mostly American, but just in general like forest/aquatic bird life, and the Asian small-clawed otter. So you can probably tell it was never meant to be a geographic region, but just like a vibes region of the zoo, right? These animals fit the forest and water vibe. And that is the last wild done. Let me know what you think of the last wild. Coming up next is the Arctic zone. Fewer trees, more rocks, more harsh environments, and lots of water and underwater viewing. And that is me done, and that is the end of this episode, an update of Sunset Gardens, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Thank you for watching.